Hi everyone. Okay, so in our last discussion with regards to entity relationship diagram, so we discussed the the ER model, ER diagram. So how does entity relationship diagram works, and then also we discussed the entities, the attributes, the part as part of the ER model. So in this case, so we have uh, in now we will be discussing the continuation of uh, the the ER diagram, which is the relationship. So among them, okay. So first thing we need to identify the entities, okay, or the entity for each table. So for us to determine what are the attributes, okay. So we manage also to discuss the components of attributes, those five components under these attributes. Okay, so hope you enlighten with those discussion last time. So to continue that, we are now discussing this relationship that the ER model has. Okay, so for us to determine what is the relationship from one table to another table, so we need to determine their relationship with regards to this uh, sign, okay, symbol. So meaning if you've seen those symbol, okay, alam alam ko na kung para saan yan, okay. Meron diyan one is to many, many is to many connections with the table. Okay, so to enlighten this, we will now be discussing this part 2, okay, uh, the weak discussion for the entity relationship diagram. So we have here, so when we say relationship, so it describes the association among entities, okay. So under this, we have the types of relationship. Let's say, for example, from A to B, and then another is from the student entity to course entity. Okay. Let's say, for example, 1 is to 1, and then we have here, let's say, for example, we have here one student can register for numerous courses or one or many courses. However, all those courses have a single line back to that one student. 1 is to 1. Okay. So let's say, for example, one student, okay, one student to one course. So isa lang po yung course. Okay? So one to one. So and then one course isang student. Hindi pwedeng maraming course. Okay? So subject pwede po 'yon. Okay? So in this case, so isa lang IT lang yung course natin. So yun po. Okay? Then pwedeng one course, okay, one or let's say for example, BSIT course, many student. Okay? So ang daming nagte-take ng course ng IT. Okay? Then another one is one to many. So as you can see, so kung makikita nyo po dito, isang isang line, okay? So meron yan, one to many, ay one to one, okay, relationship. So in this case, pag nakita nyo po ito, one is to one relationship. So ayan po yung symbol niyan. Then we have here one is to many because we have here one class is consisting of multiple students, one or many student. Okay, one class. So many students are enrolled in the class. Okay, so hindi naman pwedeng isang estudyante lang sa isang class. Okay, so kasi pag nangyari yon, tutorial subject. So ibig sabihin mas mahal yung bayad ng student. okay, for this, okay? Okay? So yun po. So kaya one class, so many student. So we have here the symbol for that, okay? So as you can see, so isang isang klase or isang subject, so maraming estudyante na naka-enroll. Okay? So yun po yung ibig sabihin nun. And then another one, so many to one. So many student are enrolled on the same class. So kabaliktaran. So ganun din po, pwede rin po 'yon. So one is to many, one class, many student. And then many student, one class. Okay? So ayun po yung discussion dito. Okay? And then so we have here, so many to many. So ibig sabihin, many student, many faculty or maraming teacher. So yun po. So example, students as a group or associated with multiple faculty members, and faculty members can be associated with multiple students. Okay? So, ayun po. So, many to many. So, many student, many faculty. Yung estudyante, just like in our case or in your case, naka-enroll kayo sa iba't ibang subject. Okay? And then, ayun po. So, syempre, kung naka-enroll tayo sa iba't ibang subject, so marami tayong professor. So, iba't iba yung professor natin. Okay po? And then, so in that case, so we have here a symbol, okay? So, ulitin natin. So, we have here, in relationship, pag nakita natin yung 1 is to 1, so, ibig sabihin isa at saka isa. So, meaning, kagaya nito, when you do this symbol or relationship, so makikita natin na, ayan po, isang estudyante, isang course. And then, let's have another example. Okay? So, let's say, for example, ano pa ba? Example. So, let's say, uh, in enrollment, okay? So, kaganyan, okay? Sa enrollment process, okay? So, uh, when we do the enrollment process, so each process, pumipila tayo, di ba? So, one student, one transaction. Let's say, for example, saan ba tayo unang pupunta? Okay, in enrollment process, so yung requirements natin, okay, one student at a time. Okay, one student, one transaction. Let's say, for example, in the enrollment process, so pag mag enroll okay, so pupunta tayo dun sa, magko-fall in line tayo, okay, isang estudyante, and then isang enrollment officer. Ayan. So in this case, one student per enrollment officer. Okay? So ibig sabihin, one at a time lang ang pwedeng i-process nung enrollment officer. So hindi pwedeng sabay-sabay. Ayan. So hindi pwedeng sabay-sabay na habang ini-enroll mo to, ini-enroll mo rin to. Hindi pwedeng ganon. Okay? So kahit sa system, kahit may system po tayo, so hindi pwedeng sabay-sabay. So kaya niyan. So kailangan natin makuha muna yung student number nung isang student. So afterwards, habang pinaprocess 'yon, so kailangan matapos muna 'yon. So kasi hindi tayo makakapag-move on to another student when we are not done with the existing process. Okay? So kaya 1 is to 1. Okay? One student to one enrollment officer. So, yun po 1:1. Then, one is too many. Okay? So, pwede rin po na one, uh, one enrollment officer, many student. Kagaya niyan. So, isang enrollment officer, and then marami siyang i-enroll na student. Kasi, syempre, when you fall in line on that certain enrollment officer, so, malaman mo na kaagad na marami na yung nakapila. So, ibig sabihin, marami kang pwedeng i-process na student. Marami kang pwedeng i-enroll na student. So, one enrollment officer to many students. Ayan po. Okay? So, fall in line. So, syempre, per transaction pa rin yon. Pero, so, ang sinasabi kasi doon, so, marami kang pwedeng i-enroll. Okay? Na students. Then, so, next, so, many to one. Ayun po. So, again, many students, so naka-fall in line, and then iisang enrollment officer. Ayun po. Okay? So, binaliktad lang. Okay? So, yan. Let's say, for example, sa restaurant, okay? So, syempre, ikaw, kakain tayo, mag-order tayo. So, pwede kang mag-order, and then isang bill. Okay? Let's say, for example, many order, okay, and then one bill. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, marami kang in-order, pero isang bill lang ang katumbas nun. So, yung pag nag-bill out ka, isang bill out lang ang katumbas nun. Okay? So, many orders, okay, one billing statement. Okay? So, many to one. Yan. Then, another example for that. So, yung many to many, yan, so, many transaction to many. Okay? So, let's say, for example, okay. So, again, in restaurant, yung example natin, so, ayan. So, a bunch of, or a group of a person ordered. So, syempre, maraming food dyan. So, syempre, each person has a different order. Okay? So, many transaction involved. So, let's say, for example, so many, or maraming order, and then, pwedeng marami ang magbabayad. Okay? So, kagaya niyan. So, many is to many. So, maraming order, and then marami rin magbabayad. Kasi, syempre, chip in, pag mag-grupo kayo. So, meron din. Okay? Isa yung magbabayad. So, but then, so many transaction or many order, and then many payment. Okay? So, pwedeng marami magbayad. Okay? So, many to many. Then, so we have here in cardinality. Okay? So, in cardinality, we have the crow's foot notation and then Martin style. So, in cardinality, so it specifies how many instances of an entity relate to one instance of another entity. Okay? So again, we have the cardinality notation. So under this, the crow's foot notation and then Martin style notation. So you can use either crow's foot or Martin style notation in doing your relationship. Okay? So just like here, we have here crow's foot notation. Yung kanina. Okay, yung ginamit po natin example kanina. So kung makikita nyo, so, naka-crow's foot notation po yan. Okay? So, yung ginamit po natin. So, sa akin kasi, ideally sa akin kasi mas okay po yung gamitin yung crow's foot. So, ayun, nasanay lang din ako gamitin. So, hanggang sa yun. So, ito na po yung ginagamit ko. Okay? So, we have here, again, symbol, all symbol for crow's-foot notation. We have the one-to-one, one-to-many, and then many-to-one, many-to-many. Yan po yung ginamit natin kanina. Okay? Then, meron din po one and only one. So, mandatory. One and only one. Okay? One or more. Ayan po. Pag nakita nyo po yon, one or more. Or, meron naman zero or one. And then, zero or many. Okay? So, zero or many. May nakalagay po dito, zero. Okay? So, it is an optional naman. So, pero may case kasi na ganon. Okay? So, it depends on the transaction. Kaya, as much as possible, i-identify nyo mabuti yung buong process. So, for you to come up with a good diagram. So, sa diagram kasi malalaman, okay, yung buong process. Ayan. So, let's say for example, yung buong process ng system or yung transaction, okay, doon natin malalaman. So, let's say for example, when you do or when you are developing the system, so i-identify nyo muna yung buong process, then afterwards, doon natin malalaman kung ano-ano yung mga process involved doon sa database transaction natin. So, in diagram or in entity relationship diagram, okay, napaka-importante nito kasi dito man nyo malalaman yung flow ng bawat transaction. Kasi kung hindi kayo familiar with the system process or yung magiging proseso ng system nyo, so definitely hindi kayo makaka-build up ng ER diagram. So again, ang focus ng ER diagram is for your database. Ayan po ha. So sa database nyo po. So try to imagine, pag may ER diagram kayo, pag maayos yung ER diagram nyo, so yung buong process ng system, okay, malalaman natin kung paano yung proseso nila. Doon pa lang sa diagram nyo, so malalaman na natin yung buong flow, process, na gusto nyo mangyari in developing your system. Ayan po. Kaya napaka-importante ng ER diagram. Okay? So yung iba, hindi sila aware dito. Yung iba naman, wala yan. Okay? So ayun po, in doing the documentation, so it is important to have this ER diagram. Ayan po. So much better if you are familiar with this. Okay? Kasi pag gumagawa kayo ng documentation at sinabi, ilagay niyo yung ER diagram. Ayan. So maganda rin. Ayan. Kasi bago kayo mag-develop ng system, you need to apply those diagram. Okay, andyan yung flow charting, andyan yung ER diagram, andyan yung sequence diagram, okay, andyan yung data flow diagram, okay, and so on. So marami pong diagram yan bago kayo mag-proceed with the system. Okay, so ito po kasi yon. So hindi basta-basta dumidiretso sa system, lalo pag need ng documentation. Okay? So first thing, you need to do the diagram first, okay, before developing the system or bago kayo mag-develop ng program nyo, ng system nyo. Again, it is a mandatory to have your diagram. Okay, so that's why, ayan po, napaka-importante po niyan, malaman natin yung relationship, yung entity, yung attributes na need po natin. So for us to design very well our diagram, our ER diagram. Ayan po. Okay? So again, to continue this, Ayan po. So steps to create ER diagram. So identification or entity identification. Identify natin ano ba yung entity natin. We have in enrollment, we have the student, we have the course, we have the subject, we have the professor, we have the schedule, payment, and so on. So ang dami nating kailangan i-consider, okay, when we are creating or when we are developing the enrollment system. Ayan. Bakit student? Okay, first, we need to have the student information. So, kailangan natin ng table na yon. So, student table. So, andito yung information natin. Course. Okay, course table. So, andito yung course, yung different course. Okay? And then, subject. So, sa subject table, so, andito rin po yung different subject. And then, professor table. So, andito rin po yung iba't ibang professor. Okay? Okay? So, in our case, so in subject, so andyan po yung professor. So, marami rin, iba't ibang professor, so may table din po yon. Then also yung payment. Okay? Yung schedule. Okay? And so on. So, marami po yan. When you are creating the enrollment system. So, kailangan natin i-consider yon. Yan. We need to identify first the entity. Okay? Kasi pag na-identify natin yung entity, susunod dyan yung attributes nila. Okay? So, ano ba yung mga yon? Attributes. Ano meron dun sa attributes? So, ano yung content ng yung entity? Okay? And then afterwards, yung relationship na. Okay? We can identify by using, let's say, for example, crow's foot notation, sorry, on our relationship. Ayan po. In cardinality, yun po, ginagamit natin yun. And then, so in relationship identification, so i-identify mo sino-sino yung magko-connect. And then, ayun nga, identify the attributes and then create the ERD. So we have here, okay, we can try that. So in a university, student enrolls in courses, okay, so student must be assigned to at least one or more courses. So each course is taught by a single professor. Okay, yung course, okay, so some other are calling this in replace for the subject. So yung course in replace for the subject. So yung iba ang tawag is yung course, let's say for example, anong course mo? BSIT. Ayan. So ang tawag doon, ibang tawag is program. So anong program mo? BSIT, okay, BS admin, ayan po, yun yung program. Okay? So other term for course is anong subject mo. Okay? To be clear, anong subject mo? Okay? Anong program mo? Anong program mo? BSIT. Okay? So again, course, okay, other term for subject. Okay? So again, in a university, a student enrolls in courses in subject. So a student must be assigned to at least one or more courses or subjects. So each course or subject is taught by a single professor. So to maintain instruction quality, a professor can deliver only one course. Ayan. So mahirap kasi mag-deliver na yung isang professor is, let's say for example, anim na magkakaiba yung subject niya. So in that case, nawawala kasi yung quality nung teaching. Siyempre, mag-aaral ka dito, mag-aaral ka dyan. So imbis na kung one or two subject preparation ka lang, just like in my case, okay, so sa akin kasi tatlo. Tatlo yung preparation ko. Okay, so, yan. So in my case, so nakakapag-focus ako in my subject. Kasi limited lang yung preparation ko for each subject. Okay? So, and then, syempre, may naturo ko na before yung database. So, may idea na ako. Okay? So, ayan. So, as much as possible, kailangan kasi natin magkaroon ng familiarization with our subject and then for us to teach this well. Okay? So, to continue that, first one, so step one, entity identification. So, yan po, student, course, professor. Kasi nabanggit dito, meron tayong student, meron tayong course, meron tayong professor. So, sila-sila po yung entity natin. Okay? Kasi sabi dito, student enrolls in courses. And then, a student must be assigned to at least one or more courses. So, each course is taught by a single professor. So, tatlo yung entity natin. Then, next. So, we need to identify the relationship. Okay? So, we have the following two relationship. So, the student is assigned a course. And then, professor delivers a course. Ayan po. So, ayan yung relationship natin. Okay? So, again, a student is assigned with the course. And then, the course will be delivered by a professor or delivers by a professor. So, next. So, cardinality identification. So, many student, ayun po, many student or multiple student is assigned in a course. And then, next, a professor can deliver one course. Okay? So, sabi niya, one-to-one relationship. So, one-to-one relationship, so one course can be delivered by a professor, by one professor. Okay? Okay, and then, so identify attributes, okay, in a university student enrolls in courses. Okay, so identify attributes. We have here the student, okay, student entity, course entity, and then professor entity. Student, okay, the student, we have the student ID. Kasi yung student ID, ito po yung uniqueness ng isang student. Kaya ito yung uniqueness ng entity for student. And then, under that, we also have the student name. Okay, the information under the student. Then, sa course entity, we have here course ID kasi ito po yung uniqueness. So, each table, each entity, okay, meron pong uniqueness. Okay? And then, course, and then course ID, and then course name. And then professor, ayan po yung employee ID. Kami po. So may kanya-kanya kaming employee ID rin na yun po yung uniqueness namin. And then under that, merong professor name. So yun po yung mga attributes. Okay? So ito po yung mga attributes under those entity. Okay? So again, in a university, a student enrolls in courses. So a student must be assigned to at least one or more courses. So each course is taught by a single professor. To maintain instruction quality, a professor can deliver only one course. So yun po. Then, so yun po, create ERD. So pag nag-create na kayo ng ERD, ito na po yun. Ayan. Okay? So pag nag-create kayo ng ERD, ito na po yung lalabas. So ganito na po. Okay? So student entity, andyan po yung student ID, student name. Then, course, andyan po yung course ID, course name. Okay, professor, andyan po yung employee ID and then professor name. So, but in reality, so nadadagdagan pa po yan, yung mga entity na yan. So, nadadagdagan ng attributes yan. So, kulang pa po kasi yan. Okay, but for now, I just created this uh, for a knowledge, okay? So for your own knowledge in on this, okay, para magkaroon kayo ng idea, okay, in doing this or in creating the ERD. Okay? So that's it. That's the end of my presentation. So hope you have learned from the ERD. Okay? So because it is a very important knowledge skills that you must learn from this in order for you to create a good database of your system before developing your or creating your program or application. Okay? So thank you for listening.